the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
What's up, Titans Nation? Welcome in to the 615 and the SeatGeek Studios. Before we give a quick shout out to our sponsors over at SeatGeek. Use our code 615 podcast. That is 615 PODCAST at checkout for $20 off your first order of $50 or more on SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. And let me bring our co-host in here to introduce our guest for the night, Tyler King. What up, TK?
What's up, brother? Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. You know, hey, we're struggling this year a bit, but hey, I want to introduce a very special guest. I've known this guy for a hot minute now, avid Titans fan, loves the Titans, worked with him for many years, been through a lot together as friends and as co-workers. Let's go ahead and bring in Josh Murphy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. You make it sound like I'm somebody that people want to hang out with, Tyler.
Hey, I want to hang out with you.
We're hanging out tonight. We're doing it.
Absolutely.
Doing it on the air. Yeah, no, Tyler and I go back a long way. Really appreciate you guys having me on the pod. Lee, appreciate you having me on here. It's really fun. I'm excited for it.
Absolutely.
But as I said, we are getting a double episode tonight. A double. We're looking back at the Minnesota game from this last week. But we're also hitting the HTown preview. So,
here we go. All right.
Titans fall to the Vikings 23-13. Just a few stats to look at. This right here was Minnesota's game. To an extent, 318 total yards, 236 passing yards. But the Titans had a terrible day in the run game, 33 total rushing yards.
And you know, Lee, that was actually really shocking to me compared. I mean, I'm not saying it's been like Derrick Henry numbers, but like Tony Pollard's really done a good job for us. But like our leading rusher this game was Will Levis. So,
yeah.
One thing that stands out to me when I'm looking at this is, I know there's going to be plenty of negative tonight. Let's talk about that.
Oh,
but
yeah, absolutely.
Look at these stats. We actually Will Levis outpassed Sam Darnold. This is a team that people are talking about in the playoffs.
Surprise.
I mean, if that's the only good thing we say all night, that's cool to look at.
Absolutely.
But I'm guessing y'all probably, if you're looking back and listen to this later or you're watching now, you probably heard Jeffrey Simmons say this. The officiating is a problem. Titans had 13 penalties for 91 yards. And Josh, I know you had the halftime stat right there.
Yeah.
7 for 71. No, I'm sorry. 9 for 71.
Not 9 for 71
at halftime.
In the first half?
Yeah. So they still called more penalties on us in the second half than they called on the Vikings the entire game. That's crazy. That's insane.
And there were games.
That's the difference between the playoff race and where we are, though.
Absolutely. And there were game-changing, and we're going to get into that later for sure. Like, there were game-changing penalties. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and roll. There's a couple interviews I have. One is J.C. Latham.
Who's playing awesome right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's playing, in my mind, the best ball of any of the offensive linemen.
Well, I watched him as a rookie, and you got to point it out. He got pushed back, anchored. The guy spun on him, and he still got it. Now it turned out to be a Will Levis sack anyway on the other side, but
It didn't come off.
Awesome.
It didn't come off of Latham.
Absolutely not. That man's playing really well for a rookie.
So we're going to go back clips. We're going to go J.C. Latham and then Jeffrey Simmons talking about the officiating. Yeah, but he said it without saying.
In Chapel on yesterday, actually Saturday, we learned that adversity is gonna basically show outward what was already inside of you inward. So, adversity, we're being tested right now. We're going through a lot of adversity and a lot of trials and tribulations, and what shows up now is the type of team we're made of. Guys can be me guys and say, "Oh, I did my part," or point fingers, or guys can rally everybody together and just keep motivating all the way to the end of the last game, last play. So, character, and who you are as a man is going to be on display now more than ever.
For you, I would imagine this is the most losing you've experienced. How have you managed to, be able to navigate that adversity and everything?
It's like you said, whatever has been, inside of you this whole time is going to show up through trials and tribulations. So, I'm not saying I'm used to it, obviously, because I'm not.
Right.
But, I've never been a me guy, never been I did my part, you got to do yours. I've never been that type of guy. Obviously, you hold players accountable. I want to be held accountable. But, you just every single day, every single play, you got to just keep going with the mentality that, this is going to be a play, or this is going to be the day that everything turns around. You can't give up or lose faith in that. We get paid to be here. We have a job to do, so I'm not going to just give up on the job. So.
That sounds like a man who is just trying to find every external motivation to not give up on the season.
Right?
Like just on the hilltop meditating, looking for the answers. It's within,
on the side of the cliff, dude.
Yeah. Man,
there was something that Latham said about being held accountable. I feel like that not only falls on the players, but the coaches also.
There's got to be everyone in the building.
Yeah, literally. It's
got to be
even Amy has to be held accountable.
You already know why I'm doing this.
I know. Go ahead.
Everybody, hey, y'all already know. I think we need a lot of changes, but hey, it is.
I don't agree with you.
I know you don't. I do know that. I do know you don't.
Agree with you. But I know why. Like as a Titans fan, my whole both of us our whole life, I get it. But Bud Adams wasn't any better. What do we want, Jerry Jones? Who do we want? Who do we want that is going to come in here? You want Bon Jovi?
I know, right? I'm at the point where I'm like, I just want to win damn games, man. So
whatever it takes, I got you.
So here's what Jeffrey Simmons had to say about the officiating.
At the end of the day, we gotta keep playing. It's hard when you're getting calls like that. We agree on a lot of them, but cut my words out because can't come in on officiating. You know how that is, but you know how the NFL get when you talk about officiating. But at the end of the day, everybody got to be held accountable. Maybe some of them, but a lot of them calls in that game, we disagree on it. But at the end of the day, I feel like we still had a chance in that game. I think they only got a field goal in the second half. We came out as a defense, we're going to keep playing. It's hard. It's hard when you getting them type of calls, when you're making plays, you're getting ready to get off the field on third down, what it may be, and we get a penalty. And some of them were late. It's like we coming off the field, I'm celebrating and he coming flag. So it's like things like that, man, is out of our control. I think we cursed when it comes down to officiating right now. So that's just my opinion on that. Like I said, we can't speak too much on it because we know NFL waiting to find us for that. So how big is
we're going to have a whole thing on refereeing here in a second.
Yeah, I mean,
oh yeah.
And honestly, just think you could just see his face in that, and the reason why I'll just give a segue into this. Basically, you could see it in his face. He's trying to be careful because of all the fines like players and coaches can get when they start talking about refs. But it's getting to the point to where like all these players are getting fined for stuff, but the refs also have to start getting.
They also kind of brought it on themselves too,
Right.
like the Titans as an organization.
Yeah.
Well, like that league in general, because they admitted a couple weeks ago they screwed up some calls. So now they're like, okay, now they're screwing up calls and we know it. So when we see it and it's like right in front of us, it's frustrating.
Because I think Josh, you said there was two. I think there's been two statements released, right? Was it two?
I think it was. I believe it was one.
Oh, okay.
I know for sure it was one. It might have been two. Where it was no. It was. You're right. It was one statement on two different penalties, and they were special teams penalties that the league just said they got wrong, and that leads into the grading, which we'll talk about when you guys are ready.
Yeah.
So we're going to head into the back end of the Minnesota recap with Good, Bad, Ugly, presented by Expedia. And you can find that down in the description of the podcast, the audio version of this show. I'm going to say this. Levis had a good week. Wasn't a great week, but it was a good week. He's put together back-to-back games. And we'll talk more Will Levis later on in this show.
I mean, he out threw Sam Darnold. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely. That's the only good thing you can say about it other than J.C. Latham.
Yeah, and on the good, real quick, I do want to speak on opinions on, and we're going to get into draft stuff later as well, but just, I mean, I understand like Levis it's been rough. I get that. And I know Josh will probably speak on the pocket presence for sure.
I think he did it twice in this game. You're talking about drifting into the pressures.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He did it at least twice.
Yeah. Josh can speak more on that for sure. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I think there's still potential there. But I will say, do I think he's like the ultimate guy? I don't. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of podcasters and people out there they won't even give him his flowers for what he did. And it's like, well, you can't lie that the past two games he has looked better. So what are both of your opinions on Levis and basically a lot of people saying that they're just completely done with him and they won't even give him his flowers for like improving? Because there is improvement. I know we're not winning games, which is the main goal, but what is Josh, what's your opinion on that?
Oh, you want mine first? It's actually changed. So as both of you know, I didn't initially get to watch this game. I had to listen to it. So, and the 104.5, the Zone app wasn't working, so you couldn't actually listen to the game. But he's improved. For me, what I need to see, especially with a first-year head coach, is improved. I'm not going to throw him out the window because he's throwing some interceptions. Like the interception at the end of the last game was a necessary interception if you're trying to fight your way back into a game like that. He has his moments, but I think he panics far too quickly. Sam Darnold, in comparison, in that game, spun out of pressures multiple times. Arden Key blew the edge. He just got pushed inside completely out of the play at times, and Sam Darnold found ways to step into those parts of the pocket rather than what Will Levis does, which he looks, reads makes a couple reads, and then steps up into pressure most of the time. One of his sacks that came on a third down, I believe, in the second quarter, the right tackle wasn't necessarily beat, but rather than step back and buy time, Will stepped into it. I don't know, man. I think after 16 games, he's shown a lot of improvement, but he definitely has to figure out his pocket presence.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Lee, what about you?
Well, you know where I stand on this. Has he shown improvement? Yes. But I feel like he just needs to keep getting better. Is he the quarterback of the future? I don't know. A lot of people say no.
What determines that for you?
What was that, Josh?
What determines that for you? Like where do we draw the line when it comes to Levis? Do we need to? Are we going to wait for him to just get better for a long time, or are you going to draft Shador or Cam or whoever you want?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Right?
The way
yeah, it is. Because our line is awful too.
It's a real question. So, yeah, and that's the other thing. Can you truly evaluate a quarterback who has bad pocket presence?
Yeah, that's what's making this a hard question to answer, because I think we've given up top 10, maybe top 10, top 15 in sacks this year.
No, I'm sure.
And it's, I know I've like, let's go ahead and keep it like rolling, because like we're going to revisit this at the end of the show with the draft for sure. So let's talk about the bad.
Special teams.
The refereeing. Yeah. The officiating was bad and ugly.
Yeah.
So special teams wasn't that great. They gave up 3 returns for 52. One of those was a kick return, 1 for 35.
And that's the thing. You got 3 returns for 52, but the problem is they're giving up that one big one every game, Like,
yeah.
And that's been, and honestly, the 30, like, I get that, but we've had way worse than this last game. But at the same time, I still think Colt Anderson has to go. And people can like argue about it all day, but at the end of the day, I mean, you can.
I'm running for president of that fan club.
Absolutely.
To run Colt Anderson out of town.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's so bad. Now, they have learned how to punt out of bounds, which I'll give them that. Granted, it only went 20 yards.
Hey, I don't even care. Hey, I'm good with it, though, right?
And then the ugly, we've already stated it, the running game. The running game was hideous. 33 total yards on the ground.
The offensive line looks like the center guard triangle has got to get figured out. Like every single time Skoronski looks over at Latham like he's babysitting the guy, and Latham's putting people on their ass.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
There was a moment where Skoronski, there was a pass off between him and Brunskill goes to Radin, and Skoronski goes to Latham, and nobody grabs the defensive tackle.
There's no communication.
No, it's terrible. Now, that's on the center, too, and we have a new center. So what did it look like before is really, really what bothers me, because Brunskill's supposed to be the smartest, quote, smartest offensive lineman we have, according to
outside of Cushenberry.
Yeah, and Cushenberry with him hurt has you definitely can see that Cushenberry. Did we
restart the process here? Like, because they were just starting to gel. I feel like everybody was starting to feel good about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a shame.
But now we've got Corey Levin, and he needs to stay off the beer Olympics out there with the busting with the boys. You know what I mean?
With the wine and.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Luan made a lot of money drinking that way. Come on.
Hey, yeah, right. That is true.
We got to cover the officiating in this ugly, though. Like, I've watched this game. I know we agreed on these things. The officiating kills me, dude. This is so bad. I should ask, are we going to have a segment here?
Actually, if you've got it pulled up, yeah, we can. You got it, Lee?
We've got to.
We've got to talk about it.
We've got to, because it was definitely bad or ugly.
We'll hit on that. We will hit on the officiating after we get through Houston.
I'm so excited.
But
okay. All right.
we're going to take a quick 30-second intermission before we dive into the preview for H-Town.
This that Tennessee shit. 615-901. Nashville, Memphis, Clarksville, Murfreesboro. Rep your state. Cadillacs, 24s, Tennessee pimpin', Superfly, whiskey drinking Tennessee women. If you ain't from the 6, then you can't ride with me. 12s in the back, that's how we Tennessee living. Cadillacs, 24s, Tennessee pimpin'.
And we are back. And as I said, it's a little bit of an H-Town preview presented by SeatGeek and Expedia. Now, the Texans played the Dallas Cowboys, or as we should say, the Dallas Cowgirls, whose stadium is also falling apart.
Oh, did you see the metal falling from the sky, dude?
Crazy.
That's what I'm referring to.
I just caught that. Yes.
But the Texans, CJ Stroud. It wasn't a great game for Stroud, but it also was not a terrible game for Stroud. 23 of 34, 256, and 1 interception. The player that I think scares all three of us is Joe Mixon.
Oh, dude.
20
I'm
carries
horrified
for
of that man.
109. 20 carries for 109, 3 touchdowns.
Hey, Josh. Hey, he's doing good for my fantasy team in our league.
Yeah, good for your fantasy team. Just wait until they pop a outside zone run on us and watch that man take it to the house for 80.
I know, right?
Prophetic there. I'm so
No,
scared of that guy.
you're good.
I'm so scared of that guy. Well, how are we going to cover these dudes, man? Who are we putting on these guys? Who's covering Joe Mixon? You're going to have Kenneth Murray following? Like, who? Jerome Baker's looking good on tight end.
I mean,
cover Schultz.
I would put Kenneth Murray on the running backs in general, no matter who's out there.
Yeah, if they're getting handed off the ball, but Kenneth Murray is that C-ball, hit ball guy, man.
Yeah,
like,
he's bad in coverage. Like,
I think when we talk coverage though, like we're gonna have to figure something out.
But Jerome Baker looked good on the tight ends last week. Like he made a really, really solid play on the tight end last week. So I don't know. Mixon scares me. Schultz scares me. The center of the field scares me. It didn't in the preseason.
Let's go ahead and run through the injury report from yesterday and today. Because there are some injury concerns with this secondary. From what it's looking like, Roger McCreary and L'Jarius Sneed in the secondary are not playing. We already know from what Callahan said earlier in the week that Sneed is not going to play this week. So it's going to be Darrell Baker
who's
sliding in right there. And then Jarvis Brownlee on the opposite of Baker. The question is, who goes in the slot? And I mentioned a name, and I don't know what the consensus is. I'm thinking Gabe Judy Lawley, the undrafted free agent out of Tennessee.
You think we bring up Lawley?
He's already on the roster.
They look good in camp.
No, I know that. No, I'm just saying in general, you think that that's who it's going to be?
It's either going to be him or a guy that I know all three of us hate seeing out there. In Trey
Avery.
I can't. Oh wait! Whoa! Timeout. Now we got to halt the pod for a second.
Look,
don't
Trey
please tell me.
Trey Avery's a backup.
No,
and a backup player.
Trey Avery should not be on this team, Josh.
No, he shouldn't. He should be sitting on a street corner somewhere, panhandling.
Holding a sign, trying to feed his family. I mean, I don't know, man. He stepped up in some moments where we really needed him. That was in the Vrabel era. That was not this year. But I don't know.
I'm thinking Judy Lawley. I'm thinking Gabe Judy Lawley slides in right there at Nick, or a guy that I know Tyler and I have talked about, in James Williams.
I mean, I don't.
You guys like him?
Yeah, like we've talked about. We talked. Just so everybody knows, we talked for about 3 hours last night. Us three.
Yes, we did.
Preparing for the pod tonight. And yes, I'm a big fan of him, but I don't see putting him there. I just want to see him out on the field. I really personally don't care where we put him, but the dude is a monster.
Or even throw another safety out there.
I mean, something, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's still not definite yet that Roger's not going to go. So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, but with Gibbons out, Dr. Gibby, why don't you try him down at linebacker? Where you guys initially?
Well, we're looking at this as just in case.
That's what.
Oh, I want to see Williams at linebacker. Like,
okay. I thought you were trying to put him in safety.
Oh no. No, I know that's what he did, but I don't want to see that. No.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That was my
Another name that I'm looking at is Julius Woods.
Who is
The
that?
undrafted-
I'm
oh,
not
the-
gonna lie.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like,
I'm just gonna be honest. Hand to God.
He's back.
Don't know.
He's backing up
And we're
Amani
saying that.
Hooker.
And who else is?
He's the backup.
Oh, okay.
He's the backup. He's the backup to Amani Hooker.
Okay.
So I could see sliding him
You talking
down
that slot
to
corner?
nickel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or playing Judy Lolly, one of the two. And because I know, or you could even throw Justin Hardy. Of course, he's on the injury report. He's one of our corner. He's the third string corner behind where Snead would play on that right side.
So when you're talking about
So
these
he's the
guys,
back-
are you talking? Are you saying that you're done this year? You want to see young talent out there, and what are you saying?
I'm just saying. I'm talking about just for this week.
Okay.
If
so
McCurry
you'd
does
rather
not
see
go.
those guys over Trey Avery if you're trying to win a game against Texas.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
All right. I'm
Uh,
gonna get run out of here if I start.
but back to the
Trey
receiving core
Avery.
for Houston. Trey Avery would
but-
get murdered every play,
Yeah.
especially against a guy like Nico Collins or Tank Dell.
I think he could probably
John
cover
Metchie.
Robert Woods. I'm just,
Woods is like 35.
yeah, he's their punt returner though. Tearing us, they just probably.
He's
gonna
actually
tear us up next
he's a
week.
really good
Get ready
returner
for
at that.
Yeah, get ready for
Nico
that.
Collins, both Nico Collins and Tank Dell, 4 catches for 54. Joe Mixon, 2 catches for 44.
Man, that-
John
that-
Mechie,
that
3 for
that
33.
hamstring injury to Collins sure didn't slow him down on his return game, did it?
No,
Did you guys see that screen right off rip? They got pulled back for a penalty, but like they threw it out there and just Collins took it to the house. That guy
And then-
scares me.
Yeah, and then
that
once
didn't
again-
stop him at all.
Yeah,
So
Tight
you said
end is the
John
thing
Metchie.
that scares me. 3 for 33. Dalton Schultz, who is a threat for them in the red zone. 5 for 33. Cade Stover, 2 for 15. Robert Woods, 2 for 13. And
Say that name.
don't know how to pronounce him. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
1 for 11. But
I don't know,
let's
man.
not forget to mention, and we'll show this play later, NWI had a catch for 98 yards to the house.
you gonna pull that up yet, or are we doing that later?
We can do
were
both
gonna pull
times.
it.
I don't care.
Yeah, we'll play it twice. Here's a play.
Takes about
One of the better pass rushers in the league going to work on third down. Levis taking a shot. He's got Westbrook Akine breaking free. And the Tennessee Titans right back in it. 98 yards.
chef's kiss.
And
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody realizes this. That is the longest play in the NFL this season.
Well, there's only one more yard, so
Titans have 2 longest plays in the NFL.
there's Josh and the devil's advocate right there. It's yeah.
Well,
But that is
that
is the longest
yards.
play. That is the longest play in the NFL through 10 to 11 weeks.
It's impressive.
10 weeks, 11 weeks.
And the way the officiating and everything was going,
I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
that too. That too. And honestly, I was worried, and I tell everybody, I'm like, yeah, that play was great, but
They
it's
couldn't
kind
have
of
made
a-
it to the buses as referees if they had called a flag on that play. They would have been people waiting for.
literally.
This Titans game would have turned into that. Was
It
it
would have been
Texas and like a
just
Tech?
throwing
Or,
stuff on the field.
it was Texas and who was it? Texas and Georgia.
Yeah. It'd been like
Where-
the Roman Coliseum. They would have stormed the field and just carried them out.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
But we're heading into top 5 games for. I'm thinking this is week 12. My mind is so far gone it ain't funny.
Yes.
Presented by SeatGeek. First game, I went Vikings at the Chiefs or at the Bears.
Yeah, Chicago is really kind of falling off, man.
But that defense hasn't. The defense is horrifying.
No, I get that, but it's people were talking about how great like this. I mean, the Commanders, the Hail Mary game. I mean, everybody was like, "This is game of the week," and everything, and it's like that took the wind out of their sails because they've been not looking, especially on offense. Honestly, mainly I'm talking about Caleb Williams has kind of come back to earth, I feel like.
Well, I mean, he's a rookie. You shouldn't start a quarterback inside of 3 years, and they traded Justin Fields away for some reason, who could have been the scapegoat until Caleb was ready.
Which
I'm neither here nor there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can say a lot about Chicago. One of my best friends growing up, Chicago fan, and I follow that team closely, and I'm pretty upset with how things have played out there too. They may not win another game this year.
Who knows? Yeah, their schedule's tough.
It's the toughest schedule.
Number 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2. Oh.
Detroit at Indy.
We're all Detroit fans this week.
Detroit wins by 30. Mark my words.
They've hung 50 plus twice this year.
I'm going to tell you right now, Detroit's going to be in the Super Bowl this year.
Tyler, who's a better quarterback right now, Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford?
For me.
You got an arm out here, Lee. I got to see this video that's circulating.
So this is where it gets tricky because we did talk about this. Is this where you go to like who wins in the? It's the clutch factor. No. What I'm saying,
this is your opinion. Who would you take?
I know where you're going with this. Gosh, I love you, Josh. I know exactly what you're doing. I love it. I probably think Stafford could potentially be a better quarterback altogether, but at the same time, I'm looking at teams here. Better quarterback that's a whole other discussion. But as far as this game goes,
Rams are getting hot.
I still think Detroit takes it, man. I think Detroit is too strong as a whole.
Definitely for Indy. Indy, yeah. What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, what do you think?
What do you think?
Who's the better team?
No.
Better quarterback.
Answer Josh's question first.
Matt Stafford or Jared Goff?
Stafford.
That's the right answer. Okay. That's all I needed, Tyler. Thank you.
That's all he wanted. I know what he's doing.
No, it's okay. No, but I mean, I'm right there with you. Indianapolis is just I don't know, man. What's scarier for Indianapolis is that they really thought they could run this team back, and they're just not. I don't know. I don't think Indy fans are really happy with what the product is out there right now. Ballard may not have a job after this season.
Right.
Love what Detroit.
I went Titans at Houston.
Hey, let's keep this one a little bit shorter talking about it though, because
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No. We're gonna get there at the last slide of the night.
Fair enough. Okay.
Could we be smelling an upset?
We'll get into it later, but yeah. So what you got us for?
Good. Yeah. So hang on a minute.
There it is.
Nope. Number 4.
No, it froze up.
There we go.
Arizona.
Ooh.
At
Kyler Murray
Seattle.
lights out. Kyler Murray's the dude right now.
And what did you say? Go ahead and say it.
The game's in Seattle.
Let Josh say it.
Kyler Murray actually has a better record since Black Ops 6 came out than he did before Black Ops 6 came out. So congratulations to Kyler Murray. He hasn't voided his contract, which has what did you tell me, Lee? You said he has that as a stipulation of his contract.
Right? He's like, I got to be able to play Call of Duty. He's like, I have to.
Beautiful. In Seattle, which is kind of struggling and surprises me.
He's like, I have
to. McDonald took over the best situation out of any of the rookie coaches. I felt like it's kind of interesting that Seattle's fallen off a little. I think they're 4-5 right now, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Geno at the first 4 games of the year, I mean, he was leading passing yards and everything. I
think Geno's actually a good quarterback.
I do too.
I wouldn't have said, he couldn't have paid me to say that like 3 years ago. But
absolutely not.
He's surprising.
He's one of those he revitalized his career type quarterbacks for sure.
He's evidence that guys need time. Like, when we go back to this Levis conversation, he's evidence that guys need time. And sometimes they need to sit behind another guy. You know, I sent you that meme earlier about Aaron Rodgers potentially being a Titan. I'm here for that. Like, that's who we were comparing Will Levis to coming in. A lot of people say he looks very much so like him. I would love that.
It was him and Josh Allen for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Josh Allen, who they compared him to, just because of I don't know. I would love to see Will stay on this team and sit.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers actually comes back though?
If he does, he's not coming to the Titans. Why would you do that as a 30?
I think he retires.
Quarterback.
I think he's probably going to wrap it up.
Just walks off into the sunset.
Yeah, and my girl downstairs right now is like, would love that. She's a Packers fan, man. She loves Aaron Rodgers.
My buddy is a Bears fan. We talk about it all the time. I'm like, man, don't you just respect the greatness? And he's like, no, screw Aaron Rodgers and that. He owns the full crap.
No, like, she would actually she would follow the Titans more if they got Aaron Rodgers for sure.
Yeah.
What about
I would too.
What about if Aaron goes to Brett Favre route and goes to Minnesota next?
That it would be such a troll job. That would be such a troll job. Well, he never played for Atlanta, so I don't know why he would want to do that.
But my final game is Baltimore at Los Angeles on Monday night.
Is that the Chargers?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Chargers. Dude, Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. That's the classic tale.
Hey, can I tell you guys something funny?
That's basic.
What up?
I just got a text message that said from my girl that's downstairs. She's watching the pod live on YouTube downstairs. Says,
"Hey, what's up?
Explicitive. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Then we will win. Explicitive. He ain't coming to the Titans. Yep, damn right I would."
Absolutely. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, nobody wants to see him across the line from you. The dude's too dangerous. I think his legs are gone though. I think he's Mike Tyson.
But yeah,
hey, shall we show off? Shall we show off my arm now?
Let's do it.
Oh, really? We're gonna do that, Lee? We're going there?
Let's do it. You gotta show mine too.
Yeah, we are.
Don't do that.
So, guys, I'm going to commentate this. This is
off the bounce.
That's good.
We're at it.
I was going to say off the bounce.
Hey, we're at a church environment here, and he slings it deep, and the dude actually caught the ball. There he is, and then Lee with the point celebration at the end.
Shout out!
I'm better than Will Levis. But speaking of Will Levis, we had to poke a little fun at Will Levis right there, but this was a discussion that came up. So Pete Prisco put out an article back in July. The title of it is "Will Levis the next Josh Allen?" And it hasn't happened yet, but the passing numbers through 16 career starts. Josh Allen, 57% completion, 6.7 yards per attempt, 15 passing touchdowns, and 23 turnovers. Through 16 career starts, Josh Allen was 6-10. Will Levis, 62% completion, 6.9 yards per attempt, 16 passing touchdowns, and 19 turnovers. Will Levis in 16 career starts is 4-12. What does this show you? Is Will Levis heading in the right? Is Levis heading in the right direction? Statistic.
I think you got to add the context here right before you talk, Tyler. I think you got to add the context here that Josh Allen did this in his first 16 games in the NFL, not the 2-year body of work that Will Levis has had the ability to observe at the bare minimum. So, what are you going to say, Tyler?
I think it alludes to kind of what you actually just said a second ago. Josh Allen came in and did this, and I get it. You know, they went 6-10, right, Lee? I think that season,
Yes.
6-10.
Yes,
They were
But
a
he
playoff
just
team
kinda
before that, weren't they? Didn't Tyler Rod take them
What?
to the playoffs? No, 2 years before that.
I think it was one of them. Wasn't it like a weird one of those you didn't think they were going to get in the playoffs?
Yes,
somebody got hurt.
It was that.
It was one of those. Okay,
Yeah,
it was
definitely
one
was
of those weird years.
I think they got it in the last, literally the last game of the year on a last second play. I think if I'm remembering right, Miami actually screwed something up, which they tend to do. So
yeah.
I think, and from when I look at this, I kind of allude to kind of what Josh said earlier. I think that if Levis could have come in and been behind a quarterback that I don't like saying the word elite because I think the word elite gets overused. But
not Ryan Tannehill at the end of
not Ryan Tannehill at the end of his career. I mean, hell, even a kind of how we were talking about last night, even if it maybe was a Russell Wilson, which I know Russell Wilson's not a world beater, but he has been to a Super Bowl. You got to say something from that.
I don't even think it had to be like that. I mean, he could have had like a Darnold McCarthy situation, which is probably what would have played out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I just think that I think Will Levis has kind of got handed kind of a rough deal here.
Absolutely.
I think that's kind of what it has become. And I think it's too far gone. Honestly, probably what's going to happen with Will Levis is he's going to leave the Titans at some point and end up being a pretty decent quarterback somewhere else. And I hate
Baker.
And I hate saying that. I really do, but I do foresee that potentially happening.
Well, this is part of the conversation that we had yesterday when we were talking about every quarterback has their guy. You're high on Bo Nix, Lee, super high on Bo Nix. I know that. We were talking about Sean Payton actually said, this is my guy. You know, do you think that Callahan believes that?
And you've never heard Callahan say that?
No. So, yeah, you're right.
Every head coach goes and drafts their guy.
Yeah.
As I was saying, every head coach. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That is a very good question.
Well, what do you think? I mean, do you think he's shown enough? Do you think his play? For me, I'm out on a coach and they lose the locker room. You lose the locker room, you're gone. Until then, you should get every opportunity that comes your way.
I think the locker room is not completely gone, but it's getting there.
Think so?
And Josh, I know you've kind of I do. I'm more on Lee's we've all kind of talked, me and you've talked, and you, because you combated me that at one point, even before we all got to do all of this, I think our locker room is kind of a mess right now.
Yeah,
I do. And that is, yeah.
You don't see as many videos coming. We saw Ridley just really having breakdowns at one point. I don't feel like that's gotten worse. It's odd that we've kind of seen a plateau, I guess.
I think we're surrendering as in the locker room.
I hate that.
I know, but I feel I agree with you as far as the abrasiveness. I don't think that's there like it was, but I do feel that we're kind of, I do get the sense that on the field things are coming together. Yeah. Absolutely. But as far as a lot of other stuff goes, I hate this word. Lee knows I hate it, but I feel like we are potentially might be going into the quote unquote tank route.
I don't think those are real.
Tankathon.
I think front office is tank.
I hate that word. I hate the word tank. Trust me, I hate it. I really do. But
I just don't think a player is going to come out and put their body on the line to tank. I mean, I think front office is tank. I think
no,
having
and when I say
off the
tank,
field
I don't
the
mean
rest of the
throw
year.
games though. I'm not saying like throw the game,
Hey.
but I go ahead.
Suck for Shador.
Oh no, absolutely not. Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
Get out of here with that. Then we're restarting the process. I mean, if you're not going to get a veteran guy to pair with, what are we doing?
Rebuild.
Rebuild. We've been rebuilding since 2004. we had a little bit of a run.
So I think it's probably time for Josh to have his little moment dealing with the officiating.
Oh my God! Do you have that? We pulled.
Do you have a graphic for it?
I was about to say, do you have? It may not be any real information that we typed out.
I do not.
So Josh turned us on to something.
I've got the website pulled up. I've got the website pulled up.
It's right off of NFL.com. Anybody who cares can go and look at this. But literally, the moment a game ends, like there's somebody grading an official. Like the officiating teams are graded every week, and the best officiating team is actually the officiating team that referees the Super Bowl. So when you come out and you put up a terrible performance like this, that's like that would be the equivalent of a 52-0 blowout loss for us. Like they're hurting themselves too. There's actually a pretty strenuous process. Every week, the officials are given a thumb drive as soon as they walk off the field with the broadcast of the game they just officiated, and they have to start doing homework on it, because the league's going to come back and give them a grade that they can then, talk about or, protest that following Wednesday after a Sunday night or a Sunday afternoon game. They go through a whole process, and the league individually looks at these people and then responds to teams who also have, maybe like probably Callahan's going to challenge that,
Can I play
personal foul. Yeah, please. That personal foul in the end zone. And they're saying that he came up off his feet. Well, look at him. That's Mike Brown, right? Mike Brown never left his feet.
Yeah.
He played in a triple coverage. That's a hospital ball, bro. If you're lucky that man got back up. Like his head should have kept going, and his body should still be laying off the tee in the end zone. Like things like that happen 3, 4, 5 times throughout the game. Like that looks bad on those officials. Like whatever Brian Callahan said to him really pissed him off, because he was just saying, "Screw the Super Bowl. I want to screw this guy on the sideline right here." I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get how you can walk out without that type of performance. I just don't.
Should I play the video where Callahan's absolutely freaking losing it?
Please play that video.
Please.
Yes.
Please.
But you love to see your head coach like that.
Absolutely. Especially
you
when
love
you're having
seeing
a rough season like that.
Absolutely.
I want to know who the assistant coach was, because I full disclosure, I don't know who he is, but he was like holding him back, but not really holding him back. Like, you go, coach, but also get on the sideline.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Lee doesn't know who it was.
I am too, actually, but I'm sure he will find out before this episode is over, because I know my boy, and I know Lee will do that.
I got a text like 12 minutes after.
Exactly right. They're like, actually, it was. Absolutely.
I don't know, man. I don't get how we keep one. Well, I know we're terrible, so they keep giving us the worst officiating crews, obviously. But it's just bad, man.
And I feel like after that dispute and that whole thing that we just watched, it was like they had it out for us.
Rapid fire.
It was literally like we weren't getting we weren't getting a makeup call after that.
No. We were getting the anti-Kansas City treatment. Every call was going against us.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I could do a whole pod on that, but I won't get into it. But hey, Lee,
boycotting Chiefs games.
Right. He said, "Hey Lee, do you want to get into the nitty gritty with the draft talk, or what do you want to get into next?"
That is actually where we will end the night.
All right, absolutely.
Updated 2025 first round draft order. Jacksonville is sitting at number 1. Tennessee at 2. And the funny thing is, everybody 2 through 5 is a half a game back out of that number 1 pick. So the Titans, the Browns, the Raiders, and the Giants are all a half game back of the number 1 pick. You have the Jets and the Patriots. Actually, the Patriots and the Jets at 6 and 7, 1 game out. Carolina is a game and a half back at number 8. The Cowboys, the Saints, and the Bengals are 2 games back at 9, 10, and 11. The Dolphins, the Buccaneers, and the Bears are 2.5 games out at 13, 14, 15. The Colts at 15, at 12, 13, 14 are Miami, Tampa Bay, Chicago. Indy at 15 is 3 games back of that number 1. Seattle at 16, Rams at 17, and the Niners at 18 are 3.5 games back. This shows you how bad the NFL is. Like San Francisco was in the Super Bowl last year.
Getting healthy.
Lee, go ahead and do the end of this, and then I'm gonna have some fun with Josh for a second.
This is the remainder of the draft order, right?
Yeah.
The remainder of the draft order, everything from 19 to 32, is your playoff losers and basically your winner.
Okay, so they're projecting the people who make the playoffs, and then they're projecting who would lose and win in those playoff games. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
So your wild card losers at 19, Denver at 6 and 5. Atlanta at 20 at 6 and 5. Houston at 21 at 6 and 4, which they're 7 and 4 now. Arizona is at 6 and 4. Washington at 23 was at 7 and 4. Baltimore at 24 at 7 and 4.
Well, they got them losing in the wild card round. That's kind of ballsy, but okay.
Divisional round losers. You have the LA Chargers at 25. Green Bay at 26. Pittsburgh at 27. Minnesota at 28. Then your conference championship losers. Let me just give you this. The final 4 teams they have Philadelphia and Detroit in the NFC Championship, and Buffalo and Kansas City in the AFC Championship. Your conference championship losers, Philadelphia at 29 and Buffalo at 30. So your Super Bowl matchup projected based on how the standings are today. Kansas City and Detroit, where they have Kansas City picking 31 and Detroit picking at 32.
You agree with that, Lee?
It's kind of weird. I do, but I don't.
All right.
I don't agree that Baltimore's picking at 24 right there. That would be kind of insane.
Lee, bring
a better team.
Bring all 3 of us full screen real quick.
Baltimore is a better team.
Let me look into your eyes when I tell you this.
No, no. Actually, it's not like that. So what the thing is, all right. So the NFL is as bad as it is. We all know that, right?
A lot of parity for being bad. That's what Lee was saying. Like three wins separates 15 from 1. That's half the league.
That's insane. Literally, that's half the league we're looking at.
Yeah.
I think I think and as we've all talked, and I won't speak for Josh, I'll let him speak, but actually I will speak for Josh in one thing. Because I do agree with you in this. I think we mess around and end up 5-12. I do.
Oh yeah. There's 3 games in there.
Because
we never predict a divisional game.
Titans are going to do Titan stuff, and that's what's going to happen. If that happens, I see us getting pushed down to 7-9. I think we are over 5.
I would say so. I would say somewhere between 6 and 9.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That 6 and 9 is where we're going to be. All right, so all of those teams that you just saw, we've kind of talked about. So you got, but if that is true, Cam's off the board, Shador's off the board.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if we were
Milroe is probably off the board.
Yeah, and I think Milroe might be the Richardson of this draft potentially.
Travis Hunter is off the board definitely.
Well, yeah, I think Jacksonville still probably finishes the worst team in the league. I do believe that.
Who's the worst roster in the league right now?
The Carolina Panthers, and look what they're at.
Okay, yeah,
exactly.
I mean, and you're talking all the way up to, I mean, San Francisco and LA Rams are going to finish much better than those 2 spots, I believe. But everybody else, I mean, that's a crapshoot. We're talking about Chicago may not win another game this year.
Yeah. So, like, as you're looking at this, all right. So let's put the Titans. You know what? Let's have some fun. Let's put the Titans at 8. Let's put the Titans at 8.
Okay. Yeah.
Jacksonville, Josh is taking not a quarterback. They're going to take Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Cleveland's going to take a quarterback. So that's either Cam or Shador off the board.
I would say
probably
Cam.
Yeah, same thing.
I just don't feel like Cam is the guy Stefanski would want. You know, I just don't feel like. I don't know. Maybe you're right. So you're saying Cam? Y'all want to go Ward?
Yeah. So
I would go a shocking pick right here with Vegas.
Okay.
Jackson Dart.
That would be
that's too early, man.
So Raiders.
It's too early.
That would be so Raiders for them to do something stupid like that.
But Josh does at the same time. He does have a good point. That would be some Raiders. But
that's what I'm thinking.
Daniel Jones coming off the board back when he came off the board. So. All right, we'll go Dart. I like Dart.
All right,
let's just Raiders.
Shador to New York.
Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's New England taking?
I would think McMillan from Arizona.
That would suck because I'd really like him.
Yeah. Did you look him up, Josh?
I did. I looked him up, and I also looked up your boy from Miami. We were talking about it. He kind of reminded us of
Restrepo.
Yeah, that would be a late round wide receiver pickup, though, for sure.
For sure, but he knows how to find. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got Jacks, Cleveland,
Jets.
Vegas, Giants.
So who's the Jets taking? Aaron's gone.
I think the Bears are in here somewhere.
Really? Oh, really?
I do. Yeah, have you seen their schedule?
I'll go Chicago at 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're saying they'll pick one spot after us?
Yes.
Okay.
Jets. I'd probably go Milroe.
I don't think Milroe would fit in with that Jets offense, though.
It doesn't matter who would fit in personality-wise in that market. You know how hard it is to play in New York in that market. You can't just pull some dude just because he's good.
You got to have a name.
Yeah, Milroe plays at Alabama. There's no bigger spotlight.
Yeah.
Let me look up the offensive lineman that I'm thinking of. It's not Banks.
So, but while he's doing that, Josh, my main question is this: what do we do here? at this point if we fall this low? Do we
I don't know.
do we go shear up that right side of the line and run it back, or do you try to get a skill player if he's available? And then
okay.
Go ahead.
We were okay.
No, Josh.
I think.
Let me talk.
So where we at? Jets.
Answer for this.
Jets.
We're at So who's picking 7? Who's picking in between us and the Jets? Going Carolina. We said they're the worst roster in the league, and
they would actually go to 7. Carolina would go to 7 because everything from Cleveland to Carolina move up.
Okay.
So Jets are at 6. And I have them.
You said Milrow.
I have them going. Yeah, Carolina. I think they stick with who they have at quarterback.
Sure.
And go get Will Campbell from LSU. Tackle.
So now you're back.
And I think you start seeing. And I think Tennessee goes Banks at 8.
I would not be mad about that, Lee. I would not be mad about that.
Kelvin
pick.
Banks.
I'll tell you straight up. The fan base would hate it, but I would not be mad about it.
I don't know. I'm fine with anybody from Texas right now, to be honest.
And then I think you start seeing I think that's your back-to-back tackle. And then Chicago at 8 or 9. 9.
You know what has never occurred to me is why we
actually I'll go Chicago at 10.
Tackle.
I would go Chicago at 10. Dallas stays at 9.
Dallas? You think Dallas is okay?
And I think they go corner. Will Johnson out of Michigan.
Okay.
And then Chicago.
Chicago needs skill player. I mean, I don't know. They just drafted a dude
wide receiver, maybe.
No.
They just took They just took the dude. Yeah.
From.
No,
I could see them going edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael Williams. Michael Williams out of Georgia.
It wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't be bad for them.
But then again, like it's weird because like I'm so focused on the Titans, but at the same time, like I forget like. I mean, Michael Williams, man, I think might go earlier than that.
You know who I'm surprised is still on the freaking board right now?
Who?
Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I don't know.
Go to New Orleans.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
I don't know.
Josh, have you seen his highlights?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. But, I mean.
He's CJ2K.0. Like 2.0.
He's clicking at that 2,000 yard.
Yeah.
He's clicking at that freaking 2,000 yards.
I don't know. You got to translate that. I mean, even if he was doing it in the SEC, I would be like, yeah, okay. But not to take away from what he's doing. What he's doing is impressive. He's going to win the Heisman. But I don't know.
I would probably go JT to New Orleans at 11.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. Alvin Kamara.
Harold Perkins to Cincinnati. This one right here is going to really, truly hurt me. 13 to Miami, Nick Scorton.
Here we go.
Out of Texas A&M.
That's Lee's team.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm sorry. My condolences.
Tampa Bay. What does Tampa Bay need? Wide receiver, maybe?
I don't know, man. You're getting into the deep. You're getting deep, Lee. At this point.
Luther Burden out of Missouri.
I mean, you got to start looking at a replacement for Mike Evans at this point. Your Scrodlin's had 2 major injuries in the last 4 years.
Or you could go Egbuka out of Ohio State. Amika.
You got me starting my draft stuff early, friend.
Yeah,
49 catches. He's got 49 catches, 612 yards and 8 touchdowns on the season.
Kelvin Banks looks
6'1",
good.
205.
I'm looking at his numbers now. Yeah.
Who?
Banks, Kelvin Banks.
Hey,
I had not started my draft stuff at all.
I mean, me and Lee both 100% agree that that's the route we go. And Josh, I will say we all kind of talked. You wouldn't be mad if we did just say the hell with it and ran it back as far as with what we got.
After what I just saw from Arden Key on tape, I'm pretty sure I want an edge.
Really?
Arden Key is an absolute liability. Like, he's getting pushed out of plays. He's getting pushed under. He's getting pushed over. He's getting knocked down. He's getting completely eliminated. And you see Harold Landry coming off the edge. And what causes sacks in this league is when you have two guys and one of them's pushing the player into
Let's look at edge. So Michael Williams is gone. Scorton is gone. James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee is there.
Tennessee's defense has been surprising. Again, I am not a college football guy. I go back towards the end of the year and start watching it, but I wouldn't be upset to kick the tires
Abdul
on
Carter.
the edge.
Abdul Carter out of Penn State.
Who's your favorite one and why? For the people who aren't as into it right now, who's your favorite guy and why at edge?
Oh,
like if you were picking
that's tough.
two,
There's a Texas A&M guy in there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Tell me about Texas A&M.
I would go Nick Scorton. I would go Nick Scorton.
Okay.
Yes, he's having a down year this year compared to last year. Purdue.
Well, you can't have a down year when you're got a paycheck on the line. That's non-clutch right there.
Well,
I can't have a non-clutch edge.
His sack totals have taken a small hit compared to last year. Last year he had 16 and a half. Last year at Purdue he had 16 and a half sacks. He's at 7.5, 8 now.
Is there a guy playing opposite him that is less than from the guy last year?
Because
we don't need a superstar. We need a guy that can come in and let Harold Landry do his thing.
All right, let's just blow this whole thing up, y'all. Pavia for
Cassius Howell.
Cassius Howell. No,
definitely not.
Cassius Howell.
But he should not leave Nashville. Hey, Rand Carthon, if you're listening, do not let Diego Pavia get on that plane.
But the name that I just mentioned, Cassius Howell.
Okay.
He's not as physical as Scorton, but he has that speed. But he don't have the sack number Scorton does.
Does he have that bend? Because what you need in the league is multiple tools in your repertoire. Okay.
Yes. But he came to A&M from a small school.
From a JUCO league school?
He came from I think a conference US UAB or somewhere.
Right on. Okay. That's what I mean. If you can, edges are usually very difficult to get a production of out of your first year, and so those are guys you have to be patient
if you look
sure.
Harold, Jalen Harold, I'm
expecting big things from him,
and I think you have to think about letting Key go after this year.
Oh,
and
dude,
plugging Howell in there. and plugging.
I was surprised we didn't trade him.
And plugging Harold in there.
Nobody else is out there. Yeah, I would love to see Harold for sure.
Opposite of Landry.
I would love to see
because I think Harold is what you were hoping to get out of Weaver.
I can't say that yet because I haven't seen enough of them. But Weaver had moments. Weaver was a backup edge. He had moments.
It's super weird how he's just
There today, gone tomorrow on every play. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
I had the chance. To go watch Harold against Seattle.
Preseason
back in August. Yeah,
he had a good game that game.
Because I was at the preseason 49ers game, and you were there after. You were at the Seattle game.
Yeah. I was actually at practice that week too.
Yeah.
Against Seattle. But we're about an hour. We're a little over an hour and 10. Let's go ahead and head into Keys to Victory presented by SeatGeek. This is one I know Joshua said that he disagreed with. Protect your quarterback.
I don't disagree with it. Always protect your quarterback. Ken Whisenhunt got fired for not protecting his quarterback.
Because Number 2, I said you have to finish. If you
They
have a
haven't put
chance to
together
finish a
full
game,
yet.
yeah. Like, and Tyler said this. If a game was
One
2
quarter.
quarters,
No, I'll give him
One
2.
quarter.
I'll give him 2.
All
I'll give
right,
him
so
2.
a stat before you move on, Lee. A stat popped up in the middle of the Vikings game. In the first quarter of a game, we are top 5 in every offensive category. The remainder of the game, where there's only one where we're not last. So, just saying.
That's sad.
Exactly.
That's sad.
Sad that they had to make a graphic for it, and sad that they couldn't at least give us the first 2.
Exactly.
But
And my third and final one, make Houston one-dimensional.
yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
What would you rather get beat by, the run or the pass?
I would rather.
I'd rather
I would
just
rather,
win the damn game.
I would rather.
I'd rather
let
not
their,
have 2 wins on the season.
Fair enough.
I would
Got me
rather their passing game try to beat us over their run. I want defensively. I want us to get back to where we're top 5 against the run.
Well, the problem with that is Joe Mixon isn't just a running back.
He can catch too.
He can catch too. Hey, he could have 0 rushing yards on the day and still have 100 yards. I mean,
Yeah,
Exactly.
my fantasy team will tell you that.
Already your fantasy
So,
team, Tyler.
I'm very
the
proud
big-
of it.
The big question to end the show is, who wins?
Not the fans.
Fair. I'll just go ahead with mine. I personally think this game actually not even just this game. I think the Titans mess around and end up splitting with the Texans. I don't know if it'll be this one. I don't know if it'll be the next one. I'm really not sure.
This is your best chance, though. You're
But
catching them, they don't know you, you know?
Yeah, I honestly think we might could mess around and win the game. But I will say I will not give them this win. As far as my prediction goes, I will go I'll go 27. I'll go 27-17 Texans. That's what I'll say.
Sticking with that 17 number, that's very safe, Tyler.
I almost do every single week, man. Let me tell you. Or lower.
Joshua?
Yeah, I hadn't in particular thought about this. We shocked the world, 24-21 Titans.
Okay.
We score an extra touchdown.
Yeah.
That's what Callahan said. We just need to score an extra touchdown. Show me it. Let me see it. 24-21.
Exactly.
I want the Titans to win. I think this game's closer than what people think it is because Houston is coming into this game on a short week.
And
They played Monday
division
night.
games.
Oh man, I didn't even incorporate that. That's yeah.
I went Texans 28, Titans 13.
you think they're a step slow?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it is time to shut it down. It's time to close up shop.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. We'll have
And-
you on again, man, for sure.
Everyone who dropped in here, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Stay classy, and tighten up.
Tighten up.
Let's get tightened up.